Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline Lopez, and today I have 3 very fun, bright, and colorful DIYs. All of these DIYs are for my niece's toddler bedroom, so I'm not going to be able to show them to you styled in her room yet. We are waiting on some furniture to arrive before I can show you the full bedroom. Before we move into the DIYs, this video is in collaboration with my friend Blanca. Her channel name is Blancas Live. She is also doing some nursery and toddler room DIYs. So I'm going to leave all of her information linked down below. Make sure that you go check her out. Make sure that you subscribe to her because she does great content. I feel like she deserves many more subscribers than she currently has. If you're coming from her channel, hi, welcome. Make sure that you check out all of my videos. I do have a couple playlist that I'm going to link down below if you want a place to start. Now onto our first DIY. The supplies that we're going to need is a floral craft ring. Mine is from Michael's for a little over $1, but you can definitely just cut one out of cardboard. I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree Raffia. I'm going to use 3 bundles in total, and then I'm going to be using a lot, and trust me, a lot of hot glue. So I'm also going to be using this finger protectant to protect myself from the heat. First things first, I'm going to protect my table, and then I'm going to open up my bundles of raffia. I'm trying to stretch them out as much as I can. They don't end up unfolding, it would be too long, but here I am trying to see the length that I want them in, so I'm just looping it through the center of my little floral craft ring to see how long I want them and how much raffia I want to work with. At the same time, I did decide that working in groups of 1 or 2 of the raffia strips works better. That way I can control the size and how I glue it, and all I'm going to do is fold it in thirds or fourths depending on the length. I'm going to loop it through and then glue the front part first, because that's the part that I want to be pretty. That's the part I want more control over. And then I'm also going to go ahead and add again a lot of hot glue and glue it to the back. Again, the finger protectant helps a lot because the raffia is very thin and you can still feel the heat of the glue. Any pieces that don't stick, I am going back and adding more hot glue, and I'm going to repeat this throughout the entire ring. I'm going to show you once more how I'm doing it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do this off camera because it takes a while to do this, especially folding and unfolding the raffia strips. I did grab some sections that were 2 strips or 3 strips of the raffia just so that I could change the way that it looked. It didn't look too uniform, but it still all looked like it went together. I hope that makes sense. Now that I have glued all of the raffia to my floral craft ring, it is time to trim it. If you have a lot of hot glue flyaways, you can just pass your blow dryer over it and it'll help tame all of them. Now I do like the way these like curly edges look, and that's just the way the raffia was. So I'm only going to trim it a little. I thought I was going to trim more, but again, I like the way this looks, so I'm just trimming anything that is too large or that I don't like the way that it curls. I am opening some of the loops up, the rest I'm just leaving as is. Now on to project number 2. For this one, we are going to be needing 3 felt sheets. Mine are from Hobby Lobby for about 15 cents, but Dollar Tree does carry green felt. I'm going to be using this old monstera leaf as a pattern, and I'm going to use a permanent marker to trace that onto my felt. I'm going to be using some wood beads. Mine are from Amazon. I would have preferred to use the Dollar Tree ones because those are bright, beautiful colors. And I'm also going to be using some jute twine. First, I'm going to go ahead and use this plastic leaf as a template. I'm going to trace it onto my felt in opposite directions. That way I have my pattern facing in opposite directions. I'm going to use the small detail scissors to cut in between all of these lines. It really helps when working with felt. And I'm going to cut a total of 6 of them. I'm going to take my jute twine, cut that at about 3 to 4 feet. It kind of depends on what you like. Now I'm choosing the better looking side of the pattern, which is the one that doesn't have the permanent marker lines, and I'm choosing a pattern of how I want them to face on my banner. And I end up using only 5. I'm going to leave this one as a template for future projects. Now I'm going to do some tassels to go in between the leaves. I do have a little bit more in-depth tutorial on how I do my tassels in another video where I did some tier tray DIYs. I'm going to leave that link down below for you. But basically the thing I wanted to tell you is that I'm only wrapping it 20 times because I am using thicker jute rope than what you would get at the Dollar Tree. If you use the Dollar Tree one, you would need to wrap it probably about 40 to 45 times. Now to this longer piece at the top, I am going to be adding a bead, and I'm going to wrap the two ends of it so that it forms more like if it was one piece. That'll help when looping it through the bead. And I am going to suggest to do this after you're done doing your entire tassel. I didn't do it on this first one, and it did make it a little bit harder for me to handle the tassel. It's probably just because I'm clumsy, but just a little bit of a tip: add the bead when you are completely done with the rest of your tassel. Now I am going to be doing a total of 4 tassels because they're just going in between the leaves, none at the ends. And of course we are going to be using some hot glue to attach it all together, and I went ahead and did the rest of the tassels off camera. Now we are going to take our jute twine that we cut to about 3 to 4 feet. We're going to do some little knots at the end so that we have these loops, and these are what you're going to use to hang them onto your wall or whatever surface you're going to hang them on. I'm going to go ahead and lay out my pattern so that I can avoid any mistakes if I can before I start gluing. So I am doing leaf at the ends, and then a tassel, and then another leaf, and then another tassel, and that leaves us with the leaf at the center. So I am going to start there. That'll just make it so that it's more uniform throughout the entire banner. So I'm going to fold it in half, find the center, and then I'm just going to add a line of hot glue to the back portion of the leaf because we are working on the back side of our banner, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Just glue it in place. Add the remaining of the leaves. I'm going to do 2 on one side and 2 on the other. I'm making sure that you leave enough space for the tassel and for the way that it's going to hang on whatever you hang it. Since these are bigger leaves, they do require a little bit more spacing in between. Now that we are done gluing all 5 of our leaves, it's time to add the tassels. So I purposely left these ends long so that I would have enough space for me to tie some knots here at the top. I am going to be doing them tied, but still leaving a little bit of room. That way I could move the tassel in case I attach it closer to the leaf instead of right in the middle. Now for these ends, I am adding a little bit of glue at the top of my double knot, and then I'm just going to glue these end pieces over, and then I'm just going to trim off the excess, and I'm going to add a little bit more glue if I need to, so that it doesn't become undone. Just go ahead and repeat that same process with the rest of the tassels. Now on to our third and final DIY. Now I did share these colored baskets for my summer decor last year. I didn't do a video, but I did get a lot of questions on where I bought them or how I did them. So since I was going to use them in my niece's room, I wanted to make sure to include that project on here. All you're going to need are the wicker baskets. Mine are from the thrift store, some acrylic paints, some paintbrush, and a little paint tray, just to make it easier. Now I'm going to protect my table first, and I'm going to take some of this coral acrylic paint into my little paint pan. You can buy acrylic paints now at Dollar Tree. These are just 50-cent ones that I already had in my stash. Now I am going to highly recommend these Dollar Tree brushes. These are more for kids, but the stiff plastic bristles that it has make this paint project so much easier. I was trying to show you, but this color didn't work out, so I'm switching over to my aqua, and that'll just again make it easier for you to see. So here I am just kind of going in circles, and then I'm doing the back and forth motion, and I'm also going to do some stippling. A combination of all of it is what's going to give you better coverage. Some of it will leak here through the back, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to paint the back, so I'm only worried about how the front looks. By doing kind of a combination of all of these techniques, it will give you better coverage. If you were using a different type of bristled brush, it wouldn't go through the different weaving layers that this wicker basket plate charger has. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat that with all 4 of my baskets and all 4 of my colors. And here are my completed DIY projects. I absolutely love the way they all turned out. Now, unfortunately, I'm not doing them any favors because this is a very impromptu styling. I'm not able to go ahead and show them to you how I'm going to use them just yet. Again, we are waiting on some furniture pieces to arrive so that I can go in and film the decorate with me video of her colorful safari / rainforest room, which I'm very, very excited to be a part of. So stay tuned for that video coming really soon. Now, I do want to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, especially if you're new. Welcome. I'd love to have you subscribe. As always, don't forget to comment and like this video. Also, don't forget to check out my friend Blancas video. Again, all of her information is linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.